Welcome back. It's the Carolina 200 for the ARCA RE Series from Rockingham Speedway. Ken Schrader still holding court out in front. Sean Case runs second. Battle right now for third, and Patrick Sheltra takes it away from Parker Kligerman.
Yeah, Parker has had that third place position since the restart back on lap number about 110, and Patrick was able to finally chase him down. We saw how good that 77 car was on the long run, but Patrick's car right now a little bit better. Chased him down, took over that third spot.
Our longest green flag run of the day, coming up on 60 laps now.
We're going to have some drivers really squealing here in a few minutes.
They're already squealing. I promise you that they need tires, and there's, like I say, there's debris. There's all kinds of stuff happening on the racetrack right now.
You know, Steve Arpin just went a lap down as we take a look at Parker Kligerman's marks here. 4 starts, 4 top 10 finishes. Third, the last race we ran at Salem, his best finish.
Remember, drives for Cunningham Motorsports in conjunction with Penske. He's a Penske driver development driver, so very, very high on him and doing a terrific job.
Ken Weaver looks as though he's hit the wall. We saw right side of his car as he went by. It's got a little bit of damage on it. But again, a really impressive performance by Parker Kligerman. Once again, he just dropped back to the 4th spot. I'd mentioned Steve Arpin just went a lap down. Now there are only 8 cars on the lead lap, but an impressive run for Steve Arpin.
Yeah, what a great run. I mean, Arpin is a dirt racer, very accomplished dirt modified racer, and I got a funny story. We went to Bakersfield, and he runs Larry Shaw cars. We went there, and we're running around the racetrack. You know, I'm not very good at the dirt racing, so he comes and helps me and gets the owner of the car, helps them get their car set up. But I learned one thing about Arpin. It's his wife that knows everything.
Oh, really?
I'm standing in the infield.
Hold on a second. Aren't you married?
Yes.
I thought you would have learned that a long time ago.
Yeah, you're right. But she came to me and she says, you know, if you would just let off the throttle a little bit, you would go a lot faster. I said, all right. Thank you very much.
The Delaney doesn't give you any advice like that?
Well, she does, but I just thought that was pretty entertaining.
You don't typically look for a stranger, so a stranger's wife give you that.
And
advice.
she was not shy about it at all. And I said, you know, I like you. You're not shy about saying anything. And she was straight to the point and said, this is how it is.
Again, Steve Arpin up to the 9th spot now, so broke into the top 10. Ray Dunlap.
Well, guys, fuel mileage is going to be very, very tight for these guys down here. And Ken Schrader has been on the radio to his crew chief, Donnie Richardson, saying, tell me what the interval is between me and the 25. I've got to know so that I can let off the fuel a little bit and save some gas here. And Schrader said, you're kidding me. We're really not going to go from 107 all the way to 200 without tires, are we? And Donnie said, you better believe it. If it stays green, we're staying out there, so save me some gas. Jim Trado?
Well, I just checked in with Billy Venturini on the pit box for the second place driver of Sean Case. He said the very same thing. I said, how are you on fuel? He said, we are good. The radio chatter, however, we've noticed the pace quicken around halfway through this race, around lap 100, trying to challenge Schrader for the lead. They have now throttled Sean Case back and said, run your pace. We need to make sure this thing can run. Don't push. Do not push. Back to Ray.
Richardson's on the top of the box here. He just climbed back up, and they continue to look over at the fuel mileage chart. He just told Schrader we're going to be within 3 laps of making it. I don't know if that means to the positive or to the negative, but it's going to be tight.
You better hope it's to the positive. So 26 laps remain, and now fuel, which we would have not thought could have even come remotely into play into this race, is a big topic. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Fuel mileage now becoming the story. Ken Schrader out in front of Sean Case by over 5.5 seconds. But what he's worried about is having enough fuel to get to the checkered flag if we stay green.
Well, hasn't every ARCA race been won from the pole here?
Every single one of, well, actually both of them. Yes. We've had 2 races here. Back in 1973, it was Charlie Glotzbach, I believe, that won from the pole.
Charging Charlie.
Charging Charlie. And then it was last year Joey Logano who had the pole and dominated about like Ken Schrader is doing right now.
And Joey drove that very car right there that Sean Case is driving right now, running second, about 5.5 seconds behind the leader. But right now, he's in conservation mode. He's got to save enough fuel to get to the end, just like Kenny Schrader right now is trying to save enough fuel to get to the end.
Guys like
I'm glad I'm not racing today. Because right now I know there are a lot of frustrated drivers sitting in the driver's seat of these cars, because who would have thought that we'd have gone almost 100 laps on a set of tires?
Well, and here toward the end of this race, obviously, when you get close to the final laps, there's so few drivers that are on the lead lap. I would think that even with a handful of laps, you'd want to come down and get fresh tires.
Oh, they're coming down for tires regardless if there's 2 laps to go or 10 laps to go. They're coming to get tires regardless.
And right now the pace is 2.5 seconds off their fastest lap. Kenny Schrader right now just ran about 2.5 seconds slower than what he had run for his fastest lap of the race.
Right behind Craig Gose, who's about to go a lap down in that 81.
Craig's running 7th right now, so that will leave us with only 6 cars on the lead lap. You can see right there 2.4 seconds slower on his last lap than he was on his fastest lap.
17 laps of racing remaining. Ken Schrader looking for his first ever win here at Rockingham.
If it goes green, anybody want to make a bet how many cars run out of gas?
Well, I tell you what, Ken Schrader doesn't want to run out of gas. He's had 39 Cup starts at this racetrack, but his best finish has been 2nd. That was back in 1991. A little side-by-side racing there.
That's Matt Merrill. He's running 4th right now. That's Ricky Carmichael. Ricky has fallen back to the 12th position. He is now 1 lap down, and probably right now not having any fun, Kevin.
No, this right now is not fun for him at all. His car started to run loose, and when you start to run loose here, you're going to be really, really loose when you run this long. So he's just kind of pedaling the thing as best he can.
There's Matt. Great run so far.
Yeah, just to be on the lead lap right now, I think is pretty impressive. Brian Silas is 6th. He's still on the lead lap, but he's 22.8 seconds behind our race leader, and they're turning laps around here at about 27.5 seconds. So it's only a matter of time for him before he gets a lap down as well, if we stay green.
And I don't think anybody probably really knows exactly how far they can run on fuel, because I don't think anybody ever would have thought that it would have come down to a fuel mileage finish here.
Probably never even got a fuel mileage check other than during the race today. And the thing is, you know, we've run about 50 laps 2 different times, and that's when the guys have pitted. Well, they're running a lot slower after that 50 lap mark, so they're going to actually get better fuel mileage. So even though their mileage at 50 laps shows that they're going to be really close, they should get better fuel mileage if you amortize that out over 90 laps, because when you slow down, you're not on the throttle as much, not using as much fuel.
That's what they're hoping.
It sounds good.
It sounds good.
And we predicted at the beginning of this race, we said the fuel window would be anywhere from 85 to 95 laps. Well, if that holds true, the guys that are closer to 85, they're going to run out. They're not going to make it. The guys who are closer to 95, they will make it by maybe a lap or 2. So it's going to be that close if we continue to stay green. We've got a slower car on the racetrack right now, actually on the apron. So that's Grant Ingfinger.
It's a little early for him to be running out of gas, but he's obviously has an engine shut off here.
And it doesn't look like any damage to the race car, so we might be seeing our first car running out of gas.
And that's with 12 laps to go.
Yeah, that's really early. That's just barely 80 laps on that fuel right there.
I'm sure a lot of crews and crew chiefs are watching that 09 go by saying, okay, is it running? Is it missing? What's happening with that 09? Continued battle for 3rd. Right now, Sheltra holds it. Matt Merrill in the 32 closing in, though.
Yeah, Matt's best career finish is an 11th that he got at Salem just a couple of weeks ago. So he's headed towards a possible career best here, doing a great job.
Jim Trado.
The engine is still running on Grant Ingfinger's number 09. This is Robbie Benton's own car here. It's a Ford. And the thing about this team is they're running within the top 10. They were down to 17th, and the first thing they grabbed when the crew started buzzing around was the gas can. So the gas was the issue. The gas can was in as soon as the car got here. But again, it was running. Ingfinger down in the way, but down a lap as well.
Yeah.